Imagine a country where families shrink so rapidly that streets begin to look empty and businesses barely survive. This isn't a myth or sensationalist tactic. From small rural communities to major powers watching their youth leave for better prospects, there are places in the world where demographic numbers are plummeting at an alarming rate. But what's happening? Today, you'll discover the 10 countries that are dying out, and some of their desperate attempts to reverse the trend might surprise you. Plus, near the end of the video, you'll learn about a case so extreme, it'll make you rethink that country's future. Ready to dive into this unsettling reality? Let's get started. 10th place, Armenia. Between 2010 and 2020, Armenia recorded an average population decline of 0.41%. It may seem minor, but it reflects the pulse of a society battered by regional conflicts. In 2022, the drop was 0.38%, and in 2023, it eased to 0.09%. The most shocking moment came in 2022, when deaths outnumbered births for the first time since 1998, a fact that stunned the nation. The causes are manifold. Instability drives families to migrate, and young people see no solid job prospects. Limited economic diversification and scarce access to well-paying jobs fuel departures. In 2021, 73,000 people left, far outpacing new arrivals, raising deep concerns. Can you believe how dire this situation is? This decline impacts education, with rural schools losing students, and the labor market suffers from a lack of skilled workers. The government has tried to curb the trend with financial incentives for having children, but results remain lackluster. Amid fears and uncertainty, the population wavers between resignation and hope, awaiting a spark of change from new generations. Many feel nostalgia as neighbors and family leave. Villages carry a melancholic air, yet a glimmer of perseverance persists. By the way, we've created the only travel guide compiling proven strategies to optimize your budget, manage visas, explore residency options, and seize job and cultural opportunities abroad. With 7 volumes packed with practical tips across nearly 400 pages, it costs less than a Starbucks coffee. Hurry, as the price will more than double soon. Check the community post for details with the link below. Family businesses struggle with fewer customers, and aging urban infrastructure lacks hands for renewal. Yet, amid uncertainty, cultural projects and local ventures aim to revive the economy. Voices of protest and social initiatives echo in community forums, calling for unity. Some dream of solidarity. Armenia's cultural strength endures. Its music and cuisine stand as living testaments to national identity. Each ancestral dish and traditional song underscores that this country's essence transcends demographics. With every choice to stay or leave, Armenians write the story of a land striving to preserve its spirit and secure a dignified future. 9th place, Serbia. Between 2010 and 2020, Serbia's population decline hovered around 0.4%, a growing shadow few anticipated would persist. In 2022, it reached 1.3%, and in 2023, it held at 1%, signaling a troubling trend. Mass migration and low birth rates darken the outlook, leaving quiet streets in many towns. A key factor is the exodus of educated youth, unable to find jobs matching their skills. Reports indicate only 13 out of 100 graduates work in their field, fueling disappointment and the search for new horizons. Limited economic diversification, scarce financing access, and uneven demand for skilled professionals push many to leave. Meanwhile, an aging population sees declining living standards as pensions and healthcare demand more resources. This hits social structures hard. Classrooms shrink, public transport becomes less viable, and local shops close for lack of customers. Rural areas face near total abandonment, raising costs to maintain roads and basic services. The government has proposed education, healthcare, and youth employment reforms to reverse the trend. But results are limited by the urgency of the crisis, with many plans remaining unfulfilled promises. Amid broken expectations, the population oscillates between worry and resignation. Entire families leave, while others hold out hope for change. Some push cooperatives and foreign partnerships to create jobs. Municipalities host job fairs and offer housing subsidies for newlyweds to stem the demographic drain. Curiously, Serbia fiercely preserves its cultural heritage. Traditional music festivals, folk dances, and cuisine honoring its past keep identity alive. This cultural resilience may spark hope for those refusing to give up. Over time, the yearning for renewal feels like a pulse running through ancient paths, awaiting the day young people return to revitalize a shared future. 8th place, Bulgaria. Though part of the EU for years, Bulgaria remains the bloc's poorest nation, with a steadily declining population. Between 2010 and 2020, it saw a 0.81% drop, worsening to 11.51% in 2022 and 1.39% in 2023. This downward trajectory is driven by brain drain as skilled professionals emigrate for better wages. A temporary uptick occurred during the pandemic when some expatriates returned, perhaps seeking safety or family proximity amid global uncertainty. Yet, the balance still tilts toward departure, with young people finding insufficient incentives to stay. The local job market offers uncompetitive salaries, and foreign investment focuses on specific areas, leaving vast regions progressively abandoned. The population decline undermines services. Small communities see schools close for lack of students, and rural hospitals struggle with staffing shortages for an increasingly isolated elderly population. Maintaining roads and transport in low-density areas grows costlier, forcing the government to prioritize urban zones, leaving rural residents neglected. To combat this demographic hemorrhage, authorities have proposed subsidies for entrepreneurs, job training programs, and campaigns to improve Bulgaria's image among its diaspora. However, these measures lack the strength to reverse the trend, and many see exodus as the only option. Civil organizations try revitalizing villages through ecotourism and sustainable agriculture, with mixed results. Locals react with pride and disillusionment. Many cherish their culture, vibrant in colorful dances and celebrations, but worry about the rapid erosion of social fabric. A surprising hope lies in the diaspora, with beliefs that the right incentives could bring some Bulgarians back to start businesses and boost the economy. An air of uncertainty looms over cities, a rhythm between memories of the past and dreams of what could be. 7th place, Italy. Italy's population fell from about 59.8 million to 59.5 million over a decade, a decline of roughly 0.1% between 2010 and 2020. In 2022, it dropped to 0.34%, and in 2023, it neared 0.28%. Though slight, the impact is felt in the number of youth leaving for better conditions. High living costs, unaffordable housing, and job scarcity paint a grim outlook for recent graduates, who, degrees in hand, face a saturated market with wages barely covering basics. Many seek opportunities elsewhere in Europe. This population contraction accelerates societal aging. With more retirees and fewer young contributors, pressure mounts on pensions and healthcare. Education suffers. Some schools close for lack of students, and universities recruit foreigners to sustain operations. Historic urban infrastructure struggles to fund preservation amid dwindling resources. The Italian government has pushed reforms, including tax incentives for families, housing subsidies, and tourism campaigns to revive local economies. Yet, bureaucracy and political shifts hinder consistent progress. Regions offer programs like selling old homes for symbolic prices to repopulate near-deserted towns. The population feels torn. Some view youth emigration pessimistically, while others cling to Italy's creative culture, believing reinvention is possible. Small family businesses resist adversity, with artisanal bakeries and design workshops as bastions of resilience, painting an uncertain but hopeful future. Sixth place, Croatia. Between 2010 and 2020, Croatia's population declined by 0.61%, continuing to 0.73% in 2022 and 0.54% in 2023. Though less severe than others, this marks a troubling slide for a modest nation. A weak economy and youth emigration drive the decline. An estimated 1 in 32 Croatians has considered leaving, spurred by scarce opportunities and the perception that doors open easier abroad. Low birth rates below mortality rates worsen the imbalance. This impacts education, with schools merging or closing, and the labor market lacks young workers for tourism, tech, or manufacturing. Local development stalls as skilled workers leave, deterring foreign investment. The government offers economic incentives for newlyweds and campaigns highlighting Croatia's cultural and natural allure. Rural subsidies aim to make countryside life viable, but results are modest. Public reactions vary. Some resign themselves, while others strive to revive entire villages. The growing IT sector, with urban incubators and early coding education, aims to retain talent. Yet migration persists, with many who leave for prosperity rarely returning. Ports and villages reflect a duality, those seeing departure as the only path, and those believing renewal is near. Fifth place, Lithuania. This Baltic nation, independent since the late 20th century, has faced a sharp population drop. Between 2010 and 2020, it saw a 1.1% decline, peaking at 1.31% in 2022 and easing to 1.15% in 23. Low birth rates and emigration, driven by less competitive local wages compared to Western Europe, fuel the trend. In 2021, Lithuania achieved a surprising net migration gain, with more arrivals or returns than departures, briefly igniting hope. Gradual wage increases also encourage some to stay. The social fallout is clear. Rural schools shrink, and teachers fear job losses. Healthcare struggles with specialist shortages, and the labor market fails to retain talent. The government offers housing subsidies and entrepreneurship programs, promoting a tranquil lifestyle and Baltic cultural wealth. Yet, effectiveness is questioned without tangible daily improvements. Locals mix concern with determination, with groups working to revive the nation internally. Lithuania's push as an emerging tech hub, with investment forums in the capital, aims to attract professionals and investors. Nostalgia and optimism clash as Lithuania strides cautiously toward recovery. Fourth place, Latvia. Between 2013 and 2020, this Baltic republic saw a 1.03% population drop, rising to 1.24% in 2022 and holding at 1% in 2023. Like its neighbors, unrelenting migration persists, driven by dreams of higher Western European wages. Births lag behind deaths, leaving aging communities. Riga's high living costs don't match wages, pushing youth abroad. Social structures fray, small towns see shops close. And medical services weaken with staffing and resource shortages. The government offers university scholarships and repatriation programs, highlighting relaxed lifestyles and entrepreneurial ease. Yet, impact is limited, with skilled job shortages persisting. The aging population and rural decay strain infrastructure. Locals blend longing for those gone with pride in traditions. Seasonal festivals of dance and song unite generations. Hope lingers, with folklore's revival potentially drawing youth back to weave modern and ancient roots. Third place, Puerto Rico. This U.S. territory has seen steady exodus, eased by easy U.S. mainland migration. Between 2010 and 2020, it declined by 1.17%, dropping to 0.11% in 2022, but rebounding to plus 0.24% in 2023, sparking recovery speculation. Hurricanes, economic crises, and debt have driven many to seek new starts elsewhere. Poor public health care and education, with school closures, hit low-income families hardest. Migration depletes professionals in medicine, engineering, and teaching, burdening those who stay. Universities face enrollment drops, cutting staff and programs. Vibrant cultural events suffer from absent youth. Economic stimulus, entrepreneurship support, and expanded tourism aim to attract investment, but post-hurricane recovery lags and departures continue. Skepticism greets return campaigns. Resilience shines through Puerto Rico's mestizo heritage and passion for art and cuisine. Community initiatives like urban gardens and art projects foster belonging, reminding residents of the island's unique warmth. Second place, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Between 2010 and 2020, the decline averaged 1.4%, easing to 1.14% in 2022 and 0.7% in 2023. Though slightly improved, the issue persists, reflecting challenges in retaining youth. Higher mortality than births and emigration, nearly half of 18 to 29-year-olds want to leave, drive the drop, fueled by job scarcity, perceived corruption, and weak public services. Past conflicts' political instability also plays a role. Social organization suffers, rural schools close, the labor market stagnates, and aging infrastructure deteriorates. The elderly demand more healthcare and aid than the system can provide. Modernizing governance and boosting tourism and local production aim to counter talent loss, but corruption and bureaucracy hinder progress. Civic groups push collaborative projects and transparency. Artisanal crafts like ceramics and jewelry draw foreign interest, blending tradition with hope. Nostalgia and determination mix in historic cities and wooded valleys, striving for a less uncertain tomorrow. First place, Marshall Islands. This Pacific archipelago, with barely over 42,000 people, in 2023, saw a 1.9% decline from 2010 to 2020, easing to 1.4% in 2022 too. Though small, these numbers hit hard for a tiny territory. In 2018, a third of residents had migrated to the U.S. for better wages, education, and health care. Economic prospects are bleak, with high unemployment and underfunded education and health systems. Beyond economics, climate change looms large. Frequent flooding contaminates freshwater, and limited disaster infrastructure heightens vulnerability. Families leave for safer futures, protecting children from rising seas. The government seeks international cooperation for resources and sustainable solutions, alongside renewable energy training and community development. Yet, the response falls short, and emigration continues. Cultural resilience pulses, ancestral navigation, dances, and songs tie islanders to the ocean. Leaders advocate globally for climate awareness. Amid palms and white sands, a silent battle for survival persists, refusing to let the Marshallese spirit vanish. These 10 dying countries reveal a reality beyond statistics, a journey through emptying streets, closing schools, and struggling hospitals. From Armenia's uncertainty to the Marshall Islands' hope, a mosaic of stories emerges, united by fears of fading under migration, low births, and aging populations. We've seen youth leave for opportunity, leaving silent towns and fractured economies. Each departing family deepens the rift in culture and community. The social and economic toll is universal: classrooms with too few children, jobs unfilled, agriculture and industry faltering. From Eastern Europe to the Pacific, voices of those staying ring with resolve, though reality pushes many to greener pastures. Governments cling to solutions: subsidies for young couples, tax incentives, campaigns celebrating heritage. But global competition for stability and wages challenges these efforts. Hope endures in cultural strength. Dances, songs, and ancient recipes anchor new generations. Civic groups and youth drive cooperatives, tourism, and digital innovation to revive economies. Serbia's graduate exodus ties to Bosnia's corruption-driven flight. Bulgaria and Croatia lament rural neglect, while Italy balances high costs with depopulated villages. Lithuania and Latvia share talent drain woes, and Puerto Rico battles hurricanes and debt. Armenia's conflicts and the Marshall Islands climate crisis highlight diverse struggles. What future awaits these nations? How will they fill empty homes and squares? The quest for balance between tradition and modernity, present and future, unites them. Every parent leaving, youth dreaming abroad, and elder clinging to roots shares the question, will tomorrow revive these lands' former strength? Thank you for joining this bittersweet journey. We've seen revival efforts and unwavering passion. Ultimately, these nations' fate hinges on effective policies and collective will to reclaim what slips away. If this narrative resonated, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to uncover more hidden truths worldwide. This is the gateway to profound realities, inviting us to face the future with caution and resolve.